According to Harris, who spends most of his time with his grandmother in the neighborhood, things are becoming incredibly chaotic at the Harris home and went only to T.I. to record TV shows.
The family hustle. With the track record of reality shows.
King Harris just...
T.I. is making sure that everyone is aware that King Harris was recently the victim of the greatest treachery. King Harris appears to be at the center of everything.
To my grandma's house, because I'm getting in the fight.
You act like a baby to go to your grandmama's house.
Rap legend T.I. and Tiny Harris' 19-year-old son, King Harris, is back in the news after shocking new video of him went viral online. In the video, King accuses his father, T.I., of leaving him when he was a child, igniting a contentious discussion about their complex father-son relationship. It also raises concerns about King's behavior and family background. Social media is dominated by dynamics as both admirers and critics immediately take sides in the video. Posted on social media shows an unhappy King snapping at his family, saying, "You don't know what I've been through." His plainly distressed, uncensored feelings resonated with many viewers, but others criticized the young Harris, accusing him of being entitled and spoiled. Although King's public tantrums are nothing new, this specific episode has rekindled discussions about his hardships and his connection with his well-known father.
How he showed zero remorse after folks dragged him for that shady stunt with the homeless man. He dangled $50 in front of the guy, daring him to take on the tacky chip challenge without drinking water for 5 minutes. The poor man was struggling with the heat, and in the end, he lost. But of course, the king had a little consolation prize for the man. Like that was supposed to make it all better. He should have apologized, especially since that chip is already banned, but nah. He was feeling too big to own up to his mess. Now, while we're all quick to drag King for going toe-to-toe with his pops and acting a fool, let's not sleep on what he posted on his Instagram story. He laid it all out clear as day. If I'm mistaken, King wasn't just some spoiled rich kid like T.I., and Tiny tried to make us believe during that showdown. Sure, he had all the luxuries money could buy, but he was raised by his grandma right in the heart of the hood, not behind some fancy gated community. Even though his parents made sure he never lacked anything financially, his grandma's place was smack dab in the hood, and guess what?
One of King's most shocking...
While Ty and Tiny concentrated on their professions, King said that T.I. abandoned him as a child, leaving him to grow up with his grandmother. This is one of the most startling accusations King makes in the video, and King's sentiments of neglect may be real. His affluent, well-known family, according to his detractors, contradicts his claims of having a privileged upbringing. King had access to significantly more opportunities and resources than the majority of children.
And the family. The confrontation escalated to the point where T.I. had to physically restrain King, putting him in a headlock to emphasize his authority. Adding to the drama, King later accused T.I. of abandoning him in the hood and using tough love as an excuse for neglect. Fans were quick to call him out, pointing out the inconsistencies in his narrative. King has tried to portray himself as a rapper with a rough upbringing, but many noted that he grew up in a mansion with wealthy parents. However, King claims that he spent much of his childhood with his grandmother in the hood, only visiting T.I.'s home when it was time to film their reality show, Family Hustle. These revelations painted a complicated picture of King's upbringing and relationship with his father. Fast forward to today, and the focus has shifted to Big Nana, who many believe is taking advantage of King's naivety and their relationship to secure financial stability. Sources close to the family allege that Big Nana thinks having King's baby will make her famous and provide her with a steady income from his wealth.
In a recent interview, Ty, who is renowned for being direct, took King's charges seriously and denied them, saying that King was attempting to fabricate a story that was untrue. Ty then highlighted the sacrifices that he and Tiny had made. He also noted that King's attempts to present himself as a product of the hood are unjustified given his affluent childhood in gated neighborhoods and expensive schools, which were made to ensure their children had a better life.
Remember that viral moment a few months ago when King got into it with some guy at a basketball game? King went live on Instagram, and we all saw how the drama escalated. Ty stepped in and literally had King in a headlock, reminding him who's boss. Talk about a parenting moment.
He know I stand on business. He know that. Ain't no nigga ever pulled my car ever in life. I stand on business. You drop me somewhere, I stand on business. You drop me in your hood, I stand on business. You want to hide it for the world, I'm going to put it out there for them to see. I want to put up nowhere. You ain't had me put up nowhere. Like, I ain't got too much to drink. I done drunk too much. Drunk too much. Let's go.
King's early years were extensively chronicled on the popular reality TV series T.I. and Tiny, The Family Hustle, which depicted the Harris family as loving and supportive. However, King has since claimed that the show merely showed a selective portrayal of his grandmother's house, was frequently used to pick him up to film episodes, and he returned there as soon as the shoot was finished, according to him. King's allegations of neglect have been strengthened by revelation, which has called into question the show's legitimacy.
With the track record of reality shows, a lot of times you see, couples like Hulk Hogan and his wife happily married for 100 years, then they do a reality show, and then next thing you know, they're divorcing, and, his wife is dating an 18-year-old, and it just ends up being somewhat of a mess. But you're actually executive producing this show, so did you feel like having your hands in that part of the business would prevent that?
Well, I know that it was a big issue in my household because we spoke about it, at first. First of all, in 2009, I did my first reality show, which was Tiny and Toya, with me and just Toya, Toya Wright, which is Lil Wayne's baby mother, and ex-wife at the time. And so we did our show. It was very successful. And it brought on, me trying to get Tip to let us do it.
King has been embroiled in controversy throughout his adolescence, including legal issues, public fights, and arrests for possession of marijuana, carrying a handgun, and even failing to. Whenever he appears in court, detractors frequently cite his legal troubles as proof of unwise choices. Others, however, interpret them as attention-seeking or rebellion against his father's authority.
Do you feel any type of pressure?
They say pressure make diamond. So
okay.
It's like a walking diamond. You know what I'm saying? I don't fold under pressure, I apply under pressure.
That boy quick on his feet, ain't he?
Yeah, I'm the more, as he was saying, I'm him when he made his most mistakes. That's what he tells me. We can, I could do something with him, but he wouldn't want to,
Why not?
Because he wouldn't want to hear me talking my talk and him.
No matter how accurate it is.
Yeah.
Tip over there shaking his head like he right. I don't.
But it's one song he did get on, and he kind of had he didn't want to bring it to me. He didn't want to. It's like a fly going around and say, this shit hard, but I don't know how to, And he was like, man, let me get him.
King was dealing with another shock as his legal issues were coming to an end. A DNA test showed that he is not the father of Big Nana's child. Suspicious of Nana's motives, T.I. discreetly ordered the test, which proved his suspicions, while other fans applauded Ty for others chastised him for weakening King's authority and managing the situation without King's knowledge, while others defended his son. The revelation grieved King and added even more strain to the already tense dynamic family.
The tea I'm about to spill is hotter than a midsummer's day in Atlanta. Things are getting crazy messy in the Harris household, and it looks like King Harris's girlfriend, Big Nana, is at the center of it all. Word on the street is that Big Nana's been pulling the strings, emotionally playing King for months. And y'all, folks are saying she's baby-trapped King Harris to secure her place in the Harris family, and more importantly, a piece of that T.I. fortune. But T.I., he's not here for it one bit. Let's break it all down because this story has layers. From day one, T.I. has been warning King that Big Nana's intentions might not be as pure as King thinks. And let's be real, T.I. isn't new to this. He's been in the game long enough to tell who's genuine and who's chasing the bag. Now, it seems like his worst fears are coming true, and he's making it clear that Big Nana is not about to manipulate her way into the family's finances or
The older lover of Big Nana King has been a contentious character throughout this drama, publicly questioning her motives and raising suspicions that she was more interested in the fame of the Harris family. and fortune as opposed to an authentic relationship with King. Although Nana has mostly avoided the public eye since the DNA test, insiders assert that she is attempting to mend her relationship with King in spite of the fallout.
Though T.I. and King aren't exactly number father-son goals, sources revealed that T.I. really tried to warn King about how having a baby this young would completely change his life. But here's where it gets wild. King was so head over heels for Big Nana that's when Big Nana allegedly started manipulating King, making him distance himself from his parents. He stopped returning their calls, and it was like she had him completely under her spell. That's why his parents weren't even at the baby shower. But T.I. wasn't about to sit back and watch his family get played. Not only did he reach out to Big Nana with a straight-up warning that he wasn't going to let her manipulate her way into the family's money, but he also made it crystal clear that he wasn't going to be financially responsible for that power move, secretly getting that DNA test done on the baby. And guess what? T.I.'s instincts were spot on. The DNA test came back negative. King Harris is not the father of Big Nana.
When King's behavior has caused controversy on the internet, some say he's just a young man attempting to navigate the harsh spotlight of fame, while others accuse him of being. In addition, T.I.'s parenting has been the subject of a deluge of careless and reckless social media comments, with some criticizing him for King's difficulties and others applauding his tough love style.
Quick to point out that King grew up in luxury. Like, come on, your dad is T.I., a millionaire, and y'all live in a gated mansion. But King doubled down, saying he spent most of his time with his grandma in the hood and only visited T.I. for TV show recordings. This opened up a whole other can of worms about T.I.'s parenting style.
Yeah, man, it's a lot about that TV show, man, that got people confused. I live with my grandma. You know, we'll go to the house on like a weekend. They'll say, hey, we shooting today. We need y'all at the house. They'll come get me from my grandma's house. And right after we done, when the cameras go off, I'm right back to my grandma's house. Silver spoon, I ain't never ate with that day a day in my life.
Nigga, you did have a silver spoon.
Look, Tip used to have to come to my grandma's house, because I'm getting in the fight.
You act like a baby to go to your grandma's house.
Every day. Yo, I'm gonna tell you the reason why he want to be over there. Y'all ready? Cause he can suck and pacify over there. See, he was 12 years old. He was sucking pacify. See, he was 12 years old. He didn't do that in the house. You know what I'm saying?
He has frequently stated that he lets his kids make mistakes but holds them responsible for their actions. T.I.'s parenting style has been characterized as unyielding and uncompromising acts, but King's frequent run-ins with the law have made many wonder if this strategy works.
He's not going to be financially responsible for Big Nana or her baby. Basically, King has to man up and handle his business. And if you're wondering why T.I. is so adamant, well, grab a snack and let's rewind this story to the beginning. At first, it seemed like T.I. and Tiny were enjoying this new phase of their lives as grandparents. Tiny's daughter Zonique had a baby girl in 2020, and T.I.'s other son Damani also became a dad recently. The Harris household seemed to be buzzing with baby joy. Then came the announcement that King and his girlfriend Big Nana were expecting. And let's just say, T.I. wasn't smiling. In fact, during interviews, he made jokes about teaching his grandkid to give King a hard time. His disappointment was crystal clear. Now we know why. Turns out, Big Nana is older than King, and from the jump, T.I. felt like she was more into the money than into King himself.
King's desire to forge his own identity apart from his father's legacy is a recurrent motive in his story. He has repeatedly expressed his desire to avoid living in T.I.'s shadow, although his attempts to accomplish so. The realities of his affluent childhood frequently conflict with his desire to project a gritty image and embrace street culture, leading many admirers to doubt his motives.
King and his father, T.I., real name Clifford Harris, has always been a strict and often vocal parent, and it's clear that the two don't always see eye to eye. T.I. has gone on record multiple times to say that King isn't ready for the responsibilities of adulthood, let alone fatherhood. It's easy to see why T.I. holds this opinion, given King's ongoing behavior. Over the past few years, King has worked hard to cultivate an image of himself as a tough, street-smart rapper, even though his upbringing couldn't have been further from the streets. The son of one of Atlanta's most successful and influential rappers, King was raised in a life of privilege, growing up in a gated community with two parents who worked hard to provide a luxurious lifestyle for their children. Despite this, King has repeatedly tried to embody a persona that's vastly different from his reality. He's often seen trying to project a gangster image, a far cry from the truth of his upbringing. It's this
Fans have compared King's actions to those of T.I. in his formative years before becoming a prosperous musician and businessman. Ty had to deal with his own legal issues and battle to locate his. Many people believe King will eventually learn from his experiences and use them as motivation for personal development, just like his father did.
On day one, when he walked into the barbershop, when DJ Toon walked him into the barbershop, me and my cousin Toot had on Greenbrier Parkway, or now was it Stone Road? Anyway, up the street from Greenbrier, we had a barbershop. And as soon as he walked in there, you know what I'm saying, he didn't know I was the rapper that we were speaking about, but he knew that I had trouble with the law. He knew that I sold drugs for a living. He knew that I was talented musically, but my potential would be determined by whether or not I decided to stop selling drugs. So before I took him on as a manager, he already knew that I had these conflicts, you know what I'm saying, before I even brought him on as a manager.
Undoubtedly, King's behavior has been influenced by his upbringing in the spotlight. Being the son of a hip-hop luminary has its own particular constraints to meet high standards and cope with public scrutiny.
Hollywood stars and their unfortunate fates. To name just a few, there's Judy Garland, Amy Winehouse, Avicii, Kurt Cobain, Michael Jackson, and now recently Matthew Perry and even Liam Payne. These people are all very different, but they do share common ground in the sense that they lived their lives under a blaring spotlight, and they were all taken from the world too soon. And I find it difficult to wrap my head around two things when it comes to famous people, specifically dying young. The first is that we, as the public, got to watch their lives unfold right before our eyes, which is just such an unnatural way for someone to live. And the second is the thought that maybe if we didn't get that invasive glimpse into their lives, that they might still be alive today. And I wanted to talk about this because Liam Payne, well, the news of Liam Payne passing came out yesterday. He was only 31. And it's just been haunting me a little bit. It's affected me, I think, because I remember when One Direction was formed. And even though I've never been a super fan or
King has frequently used rebellion and a desire to establish himself independently of his father as a way to deal with these difficulties. The latest drama has reportedly produced conflict in the Harris household, while Tiny has pushed for a more open and considerate handling of King's concerns due to T.I.'s emphasis on preserving the family's reputation. It has been challenging for the family to put up a united face during such a trying period.
Cares about one person. Among T.I.'s 7 children, his eldest daughter, Deja Imani Harris, is undoubtedly the one who dislikes him the most. Although she is now a successful influencer, she can never escape the shadow her father casts over her. Deja began experiencing severe mental health issues at the age of 11. Shockingly, T.I. publicly discussed his daughter's private matters on social media before she was even a teenager. Reportedly, T.I. revealed that he takes Deja to see a gynecologist every year to ensure she is not dating. This statement sent the media into a frenzy. According to Deja, during that time, gynecologist became a defining term for her. Besides her fear of the internet, she felt shocked and disappointed that her father would say something like that. So even though T.I. apologized to his daughter for this, Deja has never forgiven him. Additionally, King Harris has also complained about his father due to growing up in the spotlight. His relationship with T.I. has always been strained. He often embarrasses T.I. on their shows. King has also been
The attention on King is unlikely to lessen anytime soon as he continues to deal with the difficulties of fame, family, and fatherhood. Regardless of whether it remains to be seen whether he decides to follow in T.I.'s footsteps and use his hardships as a springboard for personal development, or if he keeps going in a difficult direction. I stated,
Don't baby do. It is. Hey, Mama, your hair looks terrible.
Hey everyone, we've got some super sweet news today. King Harris just introduced his newborn son, King Jr., to the world, and trust me, these pictures and videos will melt your heart. Let's dive in. Meet King Jr., King Harris gave us the cutest sneak peek of his little one. From his big curious eyes to his tiny hands, baby King Jr. is already stealing hearts, and the way King holds and talks to him, it's pure dad goals.
You okay, buddy? Don't let me put your hoodie on.
King also shared a strong message online, addressing any rumors and proudly introducing his son. He wrote, Here's King Jr. Everyone, my twin, it's clear he's over the moon about being a dad and cherishing these moments.
What you doing over there? You okay, buddy? You okay, buddy?
King Harris and King Jr. are already the perfect duo. We can't wait to see more of their journey together.
What are your thoughts? Please share them in the comments section below. And remember to like and subscribe to this video because to ensure you don't miss anything, click the bell for more updates.